Thank you so much, Ilham, for coming back. Last time we talked about family immigration, and that was really very helpful for our community. A lot of people learned from it. I learned as well. And today, you're being back after a few months, and a lot has changed since then. And I've been getting a lot of questions from immigrants, and some of them are things that I have been thinking about myself, and I'm sure you do too, as advocates and as immigrants. There are so many things that touch us. So, welcome, first of all, and let's start by saying how this new administration is going to impact, the immigrant community in general. Let's start there.
Yeah.
And we can go.
Well, thank you so much for having me again. I'm excited for this interview. And yes, so a lot has changed since last time that we talked. I think it was in early in summer. And now we are in an era that we don't know. There are a lot of uncertainty going on for next couple months. And there will be a lot of challenges coming up next 4 years. I am happy to be here. I'm happy to answer your question and address some of those questions that came up. I've been dealing with it for last month since these changes happen after election. We have been receiving those questions and concerns, have been constantly trying to address that and been trying to get ready for next 4 years. So thank you so much for having me and should be with your questions.
Thank you. What are, some of the changes that are not, there yet? I mean, we don't know a lot yet, but what are the potential worries that we need to prepare for in general? For
Yeah.
And then you can break it down and you can tell me which type of immigration it would impact, and just to be prepared.
Right. Well, the thing is that first, I think we should be patient and listen to what we're hearing. We have gone through this for 4 years last time and we survived. There are a lot of advocates, organizations, nonprofit organizations, and attorneys. They're all getting ready for this next round of administration. And we had that experience. The administration also had that experience before. So they know how to tackle those issues that they wanted to do it. They couldn't last time. This time they're more ready. We are also the same. So the thing is that they're talking about new administrations talking about mass deportation, stopping family immigration, chain family, and they're talking about asylum. They're talking about the naturalization of natural immigrants who already have gone through the process, been living here for years. And we're seeing a lot of panic and fear in the community right now. I've been talking to people during last month that this happened, election result came out. Um, Even naturalized citizens are concerned and contacting us. What's going to happen? Are they taking away our citizenship? The thing is that all of this are very early stage to talk about and know exactly what's going to happen. A lot of them require infrastructure that new administration might not be able to actually do it on their own and require Congress approval, or which they might have it. But the thing is that there are advocates ready to challenge those in court. There are budgets that are being set. There are advocates getting ready how to fight those. If you remember last time in the last administration of Trump, they passed executive order, but there were court lawsuits against those. And they keep changing language. They keep changing, getting mild into their language and change it throughout the time. And advocates didn't give up. They keep filing lawsuit against those. So this is happening again. They are ready for that. I just want people to know that there are a lot of unknown right now. What's going to exactly happen? And we need to wait for the new law, whatever that new administration is talking about to change. Talking, yes, they're talking a lot, but we need to see the language. Once the executive order or the law is out, we see the language and we see if it's going to concern people who have got their status before, or it's going to be about only future cases, if it's going to be everyone or under certain circumstances. So all of those details is something that we can't talk about it much now or make like a definite decision or conclusion about it. But the thing is, we just need to wait and take care of our mental health to be ready for that. Just know that there are a lot of people here who are going to fight for immigrants anyway.
I love that. And I've seen um, a lot of organizations already since day one of, the election being prepared. I see a lot of things in motion, which is really amazing. And it's good reminder that there are people who are really fighting for all the immigrants and other groups that would be impacted. Really a good reminder. And the other thing that I see is on social media. There are a lot of things I start watching. I'm like, oh my God, assumptions. And some people also post, and then this is going to happen. And when we actually don't know for sure to talk about it, and there's nothing that has passed or it's just talk so far, and we don't know what is true and what's not. So if you are watching, I'm talking for myself, if I'm watching something on the news, or I mean, if you go to internet, it's just like I start getting anxious. I start getting really feeling the uncertainty. And you mentioned mental health, and that's the most important right now because we don't know what's going to happen, and to be grounded, right? And
Yes.
to have support. What other things can immigrants do to keep their mental health, do you think?
Yeah, well, there are a lot that we can do, but what I can offer as an immigration attorney that helps ease your mind and be ready for what's going to happen next 4 years is that look at the statistics and data, gather accurate information, and look at the actual data and facts rather than talks. All of these talks, they mostly are talking about problems, but there are not solution necessarily. The thing is, Trump was talking about them before too, but in reality, he made it hard and challenging for everyone, lawyers and community in his previous administration. But if you look at statistics and data, the deportation rate in Obama and Biden were higher than Trump. And that's not something that people actually look at that. Yes, the Democrats were nicer. They were not threatening people to deport, but the deportation rate were higher. And the approval rate of asylum in Trump was higher than other ones. So we're not saying necessarily it's going to be the same this time. No, this time he probably learned from last time what he couldn't do, what was his limitation, and he's gonna, we don't know, he might be able to challenge it more. But the thing is that a lot of things that he's talking about require a fundamental infrastructure change in our legal system, or even in terms of staffing and people that he needs implementing those changes. Right now, asylum office is super, super short staff. They're like away from giving an interview like 5 to 8 years to give interview only, not to make a decision. It takes a year or two after that to make a decision. People are in asylum office for years. They don't have staff. Number of staff in San Francisco that is covering whole California and Washington is just unbelievable how they are short staff. So just look at the facts and try to avoid those statements that may freak you out at this time because we don't have information. Just wait to see how much advocates are going to stand up and also fight those laws in court and eventually, hopefully, we can defend our rights. But getting back to mental health, yes, well, taking care of yourself, self-care, and workout routines, all of those are good. But what I can contribute to it as an immigration attorney is just giving you facts to rely on rather than just freaking you out based on stuff that we still don't know. We just need to wait and be prepared for that. Again, there are things that we can do from now until January 20 for sure. If there's anything anyone can do, that definitely something to consider. But other than that, if there's nothing that you can do, just don't freak out. Look at the statistics and data.
Right. And that's very useful. Thank you so much. Because one thing I think the last time we talked about it and we were talking about other guests also is the immigrant community is a little bit sensitive because some of them are refugees, some of them have seen a lot of bad things, a lot of them um, you know, so it feels like when they hear something, it could be very frightening and they might be afraid of regular people. You know, you can intimidate someone and say something and how that impacts the regular people, in a sense, regular people. When I say regular people, I'm not categorizing, but people who have not experienced those things, you know, war or being a refugee or all that stuff, the way they would react is, yeah, whatever, you know, versus the sensitivity there. And they could panic a lot. So this is very helpful to stick to facts and to go and see their case or to be in the community and not to listen to media feedback because sometimes we just talk. Sometimes
Yeah,
people just talk so that they can get views and just to have a click on the video. So
that's right.
to be selective and to watch accurate websites. And USCIS would be that website, I assume, and your website is there. If there's anything, of course, you would let people know. I wanted to ask if there is any changes that has been at this point. It's just a rumor and just hearsay about the family immigration. Is there any concern around that area?
Yeah, so officially, no, there is no change officially. But first of all, ask people if they are eligible for marriage green card. They file it before next administration. We don't know what's going to happen. Not because we know anything is going to change in first day in that terms, but if you're eligible for anything, just file it. That's number one. Number two is that if anyone is out of country planning to come for the first time or even on a visa, enter before January 20. That's another thing that they can do to be prepared for that. These two are what we can do from now until January 20 to be ready for that. Another thing is that if anything changed or not, no, officially nothing has changed. However, we have observed some USCIS and ICE are becoming a little more aggressive toward cases last month or so. God knows, maybe they were ready for that, but for this change. But the thing is, we have done this before in another 4 years of Trump. And now, while things were very nice, last time that we were talking, actually, we were talking that people are getting their green card, marriage green card in Bay Area within 6 to 8 months without interview. That's amazing, right? But
Yeah.
that's the thing. Right now, we don't know how it's going to be next year.
Yeah.
Things was just becoming better. It was a result of 3 years of work in Biden administration to clear backlog and get faster turnaround on marriage green card applications. Now in 2024, it was almost like, but we were seeing the results that things are changing. So last time in Trump administration, marriage green card application took around a year and a half to 2 years with interview. The interview was more extensive. They were talking and asking a lot of questions about bona fide relationship. Now they didn't even have interview unless few cases, like the mostly were being paid. So we can anticipate what it looked like next 4 years based on our previous experience. But officially, right now, no changes. I advise my clients that are filing now to make sure that put as much as the bona fide document, bona fide relationship document that you can have. Even though we're filing now, your case will be adjudicated during next administration, and they go deep, higher scrutiny in cases. So you want to have everything ready for the case that officer have a new instruction, for example, back in January or February, and you have as much as document as possible.
And that's very helpful, right? Most of us are not comfortable staying in uncertainty and we don't know. It can be very nerve wracking, but so there's a lot of resources available if people need it. And
Mhm.
are there any services that you're providing during this time that are different from last time you were here? Is there any consulting, or would they email you if people have questions about, issues that might may arise for them?
Yes, definitely. If anyone wants to talk to me about this, what they can do until, from now until January 20 or after that, or how to be prepared for it, about their specific situation, feel free to email me at info@sadri-law.com. It's my name, this under screen, and they can email me. I'd be happy to talk to them and see particularly in their situation if there's anything that they can do to be prepared for that.
My last question would be, and then I'll give you the floor just in case there's something that I missed that you would like to say to our viewers, is how about people in a position of leadership? What can they do between now and January to advocate? One of the things that we keep noticing is some people who are being born here and grew up here seem not to get the idea of legal immigrants and undocumented migrants. And they think that they are the same. And sometimes it could be very frightening for a lot of people. So, what can the community in leadership in that community can do to advocate or to educate people about this or to ease in the situation?
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm glad that you brought this up. There are a lot of situations that people mistakenly use illegal immigrant instead of undocumented. Undocumented people are not illegal. Illegal is for criminal. It's not having a proper paper, and being undocumented is not criminal violation. It's a civil violation, and that's undocumented immigrant. So referring to the community properly is the first thing, definitely we can do, and correct ourselves to make sure that we're referring to the right and which has the proper weight and meaning into it. So undocumented immigrant, I understand their panic throughout the situation, and what leaders of the community can do is sticking proper to the facts and not talk about and break the community more just because of, as you mentioned, more cliques. It's important that we stay together here and support each other. There are a lot of efforts, and task force are being ready for January 20. There are bar associations that are being ready. Last time we had travel ban, and now Iranian Bar Association and similar organization are ready for anything that happened like last time. Everyone, like last time that travel ban happened, executive came out, and then 48 hours later, a few hours later, they were closing airports to those people, right, subject to travel ban, and attorneys were running to airport. They were in airport for overnight and helping those people and represent them. So that's the same. Leaders are ready, and people can refer to know your rights brochures and cards. If you don't have it, make sure you have it. Make sure to be prepared for that. Yeah, know your right is something that you can get it from your leaders in the community to use, and know what you need to do, if anything, other than these.
It's very helpful, you know. Of course, we're not going to say, oh, nothing is going to happen if you don't have the legal documents, but you still have rights and it's good to know them. And, for community leaders to step up and know our rights and to fight for each other and to be there for each other. And we don't know, most of us don't know this, but we have a lot of support around, and hopefully we have our family around and to stay positive, to stay to the facts, not panic with emotions and, oh, so, this guy said this and I'm going to tell everyone and everyone is going to panic with me. Not that kind of support, but a support of courage because most immigrants and also undocumented migrants, we have
Yeah.
a story of courage and nobody, not everyone is willing. It takes courage and it takes
Mhm.
a lot of skills to get here. I think it's time to take those out and to support each other instead of panicking. I really thank you for making it very clear what kind of support people can get. Is there anything that I have not mentioned that you would like to
Mhm. I think we mostly cover. I just one thing that I just remember is that for people who, because of their status, are undocumented and might be at risk of being deported or picked up by ICE, we recommend them to do their power of attorney thing for having, if they have kids and family or assets, whatever, they make sure that their kids are taken care of and they have someone with power of attorney to take care of their kids just in case they get picked up without obviously prior notice, and their kids, they need to anticipate some sort of action in plan for their kids. But there might be some organization that help to prepare those power of attorney for their kids to make sure that someone is in charge of their kid.
And that's a wonderful advice because even though we are hopeful and we're courageous, sometimes some battles may be fought in a different way. And it's always good to be prepared for the worst instead of saying, oh, okay, it's not going to happen to me.
Hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone,
Yes, hopefully
to be
this
ready.
will not happen. But in case, it's good
Mhm.
to prepare, especially if there are kids. That's a good thing to think about. So
Mhm.
thank you so much. I really appreciate you for being a light in the darkness and also giving hope and smile and courage for being a strong leader at this time of uncertainty. I know together, we'll make it.
We will do it. We survive once, we will survive this one too. We'll
Exactly.
be together in this. There are a lot of people who are ready, and I'm so happy for being here today. Thank you so much for organizing this program. I really appreciate it of you, your time and effort. I know you have put a lot of efforts into this program to make sure that proper information are provided to our community, and I'm blessed to be part of it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Hopefully, you will come back and once we know more, and then you
Sure.
can give us more feedback on what to do. Again,
Sure.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Happy to.